Chapter 15 was about the numbering system using cardinal and ordinal numbers in Latin, and also introducing the genitive of the whole, or the partitive genitive as I know it. So not only do we have possessive genitives, of ownership kind of, we have parts of groups, right? So that kind of plays into why we've introduced the numbers. Lastly, we have the ablative of time when, which is a common use of ablative. Important, that is time when, not duration of time. But you will see, at that time, in this moment, those uses are very common when you get to reading, actual Latin texts. So let's get into the exercises and into the examples. So number 4 here, nemo eandem partem ejai uno anno vincet. So starting off here with our verb, right where we expect it to be. Vincet. Nemo is a noun. Eandem is a pronoun. That dim should ring some bells in your head. Partum is a noun. Ejai is a noun. Adjective. And a noun. Okay. So, Vincet is probably the easiest one. So it comes from vinco vincere, wiki victus. So we've taken the second part, dropped the re, added at, right? The only interesting thing here is that this is actually a third conjugation verb. So if we drop the RE at the T, no, we drop the ERE and added an ET. So from our declension chart, or sorry, not from our declension chart, from our verb chart, we've added an ET. So it's all the way bottom left. We are actually future. So a little tricky there to see, as we'd expect, we'd like that to be present, but it is not. It is future third person singular. Okay, so there's our verb. We know that our subject, our nominative phrase, is singular. So looking towards the start here, we have Nemo. Nemo is an interesting one, not just a clownfish. It is a word that is third declension, Nemo neminus. It means no one or nobody. But we know, since it's Nemo neminus, easy enough, not a singular, there is our subject, right? So we know that the subject is Nemo, and we know that Nemo is doing the Vincet, right? So I'll drop the chart here and move down so you can see it a little better. So moving on, we have eandem. I'll skip that for now. Partum comes from pars partis, third declension. So partem, em, partem. If that's is, then we take off the is, add the m, partem, accusative, singular. I think pars is feminine. Yeah, feminine. Ejai comes from Asia, ejai. So we have a couple of options, as always. Genitive singular, dative singular. I'm not even gonna write nominative plural since we know that our subject is singular. But we know that this is all feminine, right? Lastly, we have uno anno. Anno can be, it's from annus, ani, second declension, a year. That means a year, so it could either be dative or ablative. Typically, when we see an anno on its own, and we've just learned about ablative time when, we can call that an ablative singular. Uno, anno, can see how the usa adjective agreement works out there. So the last thing we have is eandem. So eandem, from the chapter that introduced that, we have aeon. Okay, so if we go to this chart here, hopefully, no, this chart here, if we go to the little third person pronoun list here in the very bottom right. You should see that we find aeon. And actually, is it aeon or is it aeon? Yeah, it's aeon. Okay. So we see aeon. That is an accusative singular. Aeon dim. So we're talking about the same, the very same. So it's kind of linked with partum. So let's go ahead and start writing your subject. So no one, nobody, no one will defeat no one will defeat. And what are we defeating? Well, we need our direct object. That is partum, aeondem partum, the same part. The same part of what? Well, now we get to our AGI, which could be genitive or dative. And this is exactly what we talked about, the partitive genitive. So the same part of Asia. And then uno anno, here's our ablative of time one. So not at a single year, but in a single year. In 1 year. Done. So nobody will defeat the same part of Asia in 1 year. Like, again, you know. So that is a genitive of the whole or a partitive genitive example right there. Right off the bat. So down to number 6. Find our verb. End of the sentence. And then we can pick out everything else. Couple prepositional phrase clustered together there. And then eated-way, not sure if that is a conjunction or an adverb, but it means like and so. It's actually it's both in this list. I'm gonna put it as a conjunction. And so finding our verb mesistis. So that comes from mito, metere, mizi, misis. So we take the third part, drop the I and added istis. So what on the verb chart are we? We're in the top right, and we've added istis, so we are perfect. Second person plural. So you all, y'all. We have millia here. From your book, mille, 1,000, is one of the numbers which does decline individually. So if we remember that chart, it could either be nominative plural or it could be accusative plural. I just vocative plural, but nominative or accusative plural. Really, we already know the sentence subject is you all, so it can't be nominative plural. We're not looking for a third person subject. So we know it's accusative plural. So, and so you all, that's our subject, y'all. You all sent, right? Since we're perfect. This is in the past. Okay, so we have millia librorum eius. So librorum, liber, libris. So that is, sorry, liber, libri. That means book, right? So that second declension, orum gets us a genitive, plural, masculine. Eius, we've seen this one before. from our demonstrative pronoun chart, I believe. Oh no, sorry, third person pronoun being used as a demonstrative pronoun here as a mild one. We see that eos is the genitive plural for all genders. Genitive plural or genitive singular. My bad. For all genders. Genitive singular. So his, her, its. So you all sent 1,000. And now this is a partitive genitive. 1,000 of his books. Ab urbe trans Italium. So from the city, urbe being ablative, singular, Italium being accusative, singular. Both of which ob takes the ablative, trans takes the accusative. So that works fine. From, I don't know if the city in this case is Rome, because sometimes they refer to the city as Rome, just generally, but either way. There is our sentence. On to number 8. So we have finding our verb. We have garibont. Ooh, wrong color. Garibont. And I'll start at the beginning here. Pronoun. Preposition. Object. Preposition. Object. Adverb. Negative. So that's everything. So finding our verb, garibont. So we've seen that in the four bonds for a verb chart. I think I've given it to you. I actually dropped the vocab, actually, my bad. I've given it to you, but gero, gerere, gesi, gestus. So we're over here. Drop the re, add b and t, and we get an imperfect third person plural. They were. So who were? Well, let's go over here. We have D. So D actually, it's undeclined. It is a kind of irregular noun. It just means gods. So you'll just have to take my word for me. That is a nominative plural. That's how it is. Unfortunately, I hate that. That's just how it is. Answers, but that's how it is. But that is a nominative plural, masculine. With that, we have Greiki. That does come from Greikos, Greek. It's a first, second declension adjective, so we're over here. Just noun adjective agreement, right? Nominative plural masculine as well. I think you can see where we're going with this. The Greek gods, that is our subject. Where I like to use wage. Yeah. Trying to think if it could. I'm trying to think of a good one. That. It means to like conduct oneself. And they were not conducting themselves. Themselves coming from say. saipe. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this out of order. But cum virtute comes from virtus virtutis. So we're in third declension. Virtute, that's ablative singular. Just like we've been using with an ablative accompaniment from the cum. With virtue. Sorry, I guess that's an ablative of, maybe an ablative of instrument. I don't know, ablative of manner, actually. And then inter homines. Inter meaning among, homines, humans. Sententiae mediti eum carum mihi nunquam fecerunt. Grab our verb. Underline our nouns. Pronouns. Nouns. Pronouns. Adverb. Boom. Done. Fecerunt comes from fatio. Facere, feci. So we take in the third part, drop the I, add in an erunt. So on the verb chart, we are over here. Middle right, perfect. Third person. Plural. They did. They made. So who are they? Sententiae. From like your sententiae examples, right? You should know that that means an opinion or thought. First declension. Near the beginning, so it could be genitive singular, it could be dative singular. I think you can agree with me that we're going to take it as the nominative plural feminine. And I'll go ahead and start translating. The opinions. Mediti, so medicus a doctor. So that could be nominative plural or that could be genitive singular. We've already found our subject here, so we know that our subject is sententiae, so genitive singular. It's also not at the beginning of the sentence. The opinions of the doctor. Right. Never did or never made, to make or do, facio. Him, eum. Accusative singular pronoun. Masculine, so it's him. Carum is actually, my bad. Carum is a adjective from carusaum. Same deal. Never made him, loved, cared for. Mihi is just to me, right? Like for me on my account. Towards me. So, in my opinion, mihi being the only option for that being dative singular. Since it's the me personal pronoun. Alright. And with that, that is chapter 15.